I don't know if y'all heard about Sports Illustrated, but they've decided to basically chop Sports Illustrated.
I didn't know that.
It's
Thousand.
not a thing anymore.
Yeah, pretty much. The Arena. Breaking news: the Arena Group gave notice that it intends to lay off all of Sports Illustrated staff, according to an email obtained by FOS. I think that's Front Office Sports. The move comes after Authentic, the licensing group that owns Sports Illustrated, moved to terminate Arena's licensing deal. We fought together as a union to maintain the standard of the story publication that we love, blah, 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 blah. But they're done. And they go to talk about if you are on this team, you're going to work here. If you're on this team, you can stop working here, blah, blah, blah. Iconic magazine. Iconic magazine. And they could do some things online, et cetera, et cetera. But my theory, and it continues on from the last point that we just made, traditional sports media is dead. I'm sorry. I don't want to hear Jason Mack. Somebody, it's key. The Eagles made the Super Bowl twice in that stretch. Stop talking, Omar. Nobody said that the Eagles were bad, dude. I'm sorry. I had to stop.
Yeah, please don't do that, man. The NFC East is not a good division.
Y'all had a bad division. That's what I'm saying. Jesus Christ.
It's a historically bad division. The Giants have at one point been easily the worst team, if not worst roster. The Commanders are in that conversation right now, guys. It's a bad division with a really good team in Philly.
Yeah. Traditional sports media is dead. I don't want to hear Jason McIntyre write articles about LeBron James and the rest of the game. I don't want to hear Jason Whitlock. Y'all seem to be named Jason, huh? Ain't that funny? I don't want to hear these guys. I really do not want to hear these guys, girls, whatever, write up articles about these people. Because if I want to know what Paul George thinks, if I want to know what Zubac thinks, if I want to know what SGA thinks, Lou Will thinks, Ty Lue thinks, guess what I'm going to do?
Hear from them.
I'm going to go on my phone. I'm going to go on YouTube. I'm going to go on Twitch, wherever anybody's live streaming, and I'm going to hear from those players. I'm going to hear from those people. I don't need to. I formulated my own opinion. I don't care to hear about Missy Missison give her opinion on what's going on. You don't have that allure anymore. You're not Jackie McMullen. You're not in the locker rooms pinning down players for interviews against their will. I don't want to hear that shit no more. I don't.
Yeah, you get we had this conversation of when player podcasts are going to be the people that ruin a potential keep it a buck in the sense of, hey man, I don't want to hear from you guys either. So it only makes sense on in terms of television why they would weed those out, especially when television.
Let me add here, and I hate to cut you off. The difference is though, we are on a controlled platform in which we can portray and display our personality more and better. Therefore, they have a connection. And I'm sorry if I took your point.
No, you're good.
But if I open up a magazine and I see Misty Mister, I don't know who the fuck that is. I just have to read you because I'm at the doctor's office waiting for 2 hours. I don't know you. I know TSO Sage. I'm moving my mic.
No, you're perfectly fine, bro. I cut off everybody all the time. I'm low-key working on that in 2024. No, but like literally, you as what you have as in terms of doing this YouTube shit is you have the freedom to, as you said, mention your personality more. But then, truthfully, you're not in a time slot. You're not rushed to talk about this topic and then this topic and this topic. To be very blunt, if we made our own offline channels, you're gonna get more honest takes, more honest conversation. Hell, check out Omizi's channel when he's talking about some things we talked about on here. Check out Bezos' channel when he talked about certain things. He's gonna have more time to speak and therefore give more elaborate takes. I'm not even hinting that everybody on TV is stupid. I know it's fun to hate on these guys. I'm not even hinting at it. I've always said if there's any slag, I'm gonna cut a guy like Stephen A. Smith. That motherfucker literally has talk about the same shit every day, all day. So some of the takes are gonna bomb, but I think that's at the end of the day, if I'm a viewer, I don't give a fuck And that is none of my problem. You came on here and said this dumb casual take when I can go over here and listen to a don't be TSO Sage, but a TSO Sage, and he can, explain his take even further because maybe he has more time, maybe he's smarter, whatever the case may be. I'm hearing more explanation. So that's how the name of the game is. But now it's gone even further to where instead of a TSO Sage or a B Souls or a Damo, nigga, that's Paul George. Like, hello? I want to hear from Paul George as to why we lost in a bubble. I'm a Clippers fan. Never, ever. But like, you feel what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's a matter of when. It was always a matter of when. And it's starting to be that era now. I don't know how they recover, but it's tough.
I put a tweet out earlier basically saying how Jada Kiss was this Jada Kiss clip I seen. He was on Drink Champs, essentially talking about it was either Drink Champs or $1 million worth of game, whichever one. He was basically talking about how I think it was Drink Champs, but he was basically talking about how shows and guys like Cam Newton in his podcast, Shannon Sharp in his shows, Gil Arenas in their shows, a lot of these former like Cam and Mace with their show, a lot of brothers are getting these shows, opportunities, and platforms, and able to get these opportunities, get these advantages, get all this shit. And he said, essentially, this is the new form of gentrification. Where is gentrification in the sports media world. And I'm not going to lie to you, I am pro this gentrification. I love it because shit like this puts pressure on these shows on ESPN and Fox Sports. Puts pressure on them because you're not the only guys on the block anymore. And y'all are starting to see how little people really care now with the bullshit that y'all try. Y'all have to try harder. You have to do better. Y'all won't, and it's fine. No one's not going to realize until Fox Sports 1 turns into the Sports Illustrated. Until you hear all right, yeah, we're going to let's cover something else. We can't do this. Like, let's rebrand New Blaze TV type shit. Like it's inevitable. So
ESPN
I'm
TV.
pro. Like get bought out by somebody or something. I don't know. But regardless, it's great to see. I'm glad to see it. I don't think I'm with Omar on this one. I don't think it'll be a situation where the fan, like people that support us, are going to come to us. Well, at this point, Paolo Banchero got a podcast, guys. I'm done. I'm like, nah, I don't think that's going to be a thing because at the end of the day, we can still pivot, do our own thing. There's still other things that we do and can provide that'll keep us afloat. Niggas like Jason McIntyre, oh yeah. If they say this, wake up, whatever on Fox Sports is done, nigga, your show's done. What are you about to do? You about to start the Jason McIntyre podcast? I wonder who's going to tune in.
Yeah, that's a fair point, and I have firsthand experience. I'm not the famous guy. Hell, I'm not the famous guy in this group, but or in general. We doing this?
I beg your pardon.
This what we doing?
I know that's not Mr. 5K.
Nah,
Mr. 5K saying
sorry,
that.
buddy.
I know Mr. 195K. You forgot what you had before me? 200K probably because I lost you 5K when I first signed.
195K
On YouTube?
I'm talking about paid subs, Sage.
I beg your pardon.
Man, that's just
I beg your pardon.
Ah!
man.
Yeah.
But speaking of that, that's actually my point. You fool! You've triggered my trap card all along.
We went to DreamCon. Who really had more pool between us? Not for real.
You're still
I
on
beg your
your trap
pardon.
card. You're still on the
Sage,
card,
I love
buddy.
that anime series you had.
I'm not playing that.
Pot of greed, buddy. You want to know why this is my trap card?
Damn, Sage, you much bigger in person, gang.
It did say that. That was crazy.
A
That
lot.
Yeah.
It was niggas at that. It was multiple niggas.
So Chat definitely thinks I'm like the scrawniest dude in person. Like, damn, it's crazy. But no, seriously, you stepped on my trap card because that's what I was gonna say. As a person who has made that crazy right turn pivot, I seen them numbers drop. I still see how them numbers drop in terms of total views, total subscribers. However, that's what they are going for. That's what they're known as. They're just the sports guy. The same way how I was just the ranty basketball guy, they're just the guy on ESPN, the guy on the Herd Show, the guy. So that's who they are. So when you and Damo actually have convinced me of being right, because when you guys go on and try to do your own thing, start your own podcast or whatever, if it's more of the same takes that you had on television, yeah, a couple people actually like your personality. A couple people want to hear more information. But now you're in the market where, hey, You got a couple guys that I know I've already been watching them. They're already pretty fucking funny. You're already in the market where, hey, these guys have played the game. And now you're in a tougher market than you are just being on television. And being on television, I will say this. I'm not going to knock that ever. I don't care where we go. That's a hard field to make it in. Dead ass. So fair enough. But at some point, if we're talking about just the individual, you're not going to want that market if you're known as just the NBA guy, if you're known as just the NFL guy, because it's going to be a tough market when you have to go on an independent platform. It's going to be hard.
I would even argue like the pressure point that Damo was talking about, I think that applies to us too. Because I'm thinking about how I blew up in 2016, 2017. I don't think I can do that today, for real. If I started from scratch today, I don't think it would have been the same, for real. Like, I think for us, it is important to acknowledge that we honestly, or at least for me, I can only speak for me, there was like an early adopter advantage that I have. In the shit, so.
Cap, your videos were edited. Those videos are still popular nowadays. A motherfucker like you would react to a video like you would upload.
But even now, like, if that's the point y'all disagree on, that's fine. But I just don't see like a lot of NBA personalities growing independently. Like you can name a few, but there's honestly not that much.
Are you talking zero knowledge of the game?
What do you mean?
Like the YouTube?
Not zero, no.
Okay. Then I disagree.